Meghan Markle here.
Today is February 15, 2026. It is 3:36 a.m. This is video number 2. Alright, so there's the estimate. But there's a lot to share with you. Let's go on X. First tweet. There's this here. This one is about 8 minutes. Not about. It is 8 minutes plus. I may not go over all of the comments. Oh my God. Alright, but we'll listen to the video. This one is even longer. I'm not gonna go into that. Okay, so let's focus on that video and let me read the caption. One of the worst revelations that came from Pizzagate was that the entire mainstream media colluded together and covered for elite child predators and gaslit the population for years, while 100% knowing exactly what was truly going on behind closed doors. The BBC is one of the worst out of all of them. Like I've always said, the snake, they're behind a lot of things. And not only cover up Pizzagate, they cover up all the elite child trafficking in the UK and the child sex crimes of one of the worst pedophiles ever known. That horrific monster was Jimmy Savile, who, there's the R word here, to children, 100 if not thousands of children, and got away with it all. I hope God is taking care of it wherever he's at right now. Jimmy Savile was also very close to the royal family, which shouldn't be any surprise. One of the main executives for the BBC also worked for CNN and purposely hid all of Jimmy Savile's crimes against children, protecting Jimmy's image and hiding the truth from the public. Another absolutely horrific discovery about these mainstream media journalists was that many of the same reporters who literally wrote articles claiming that Pizzagate was fake and debunked just so happened to be all arrested and charged for trafficking and abusing children themselves. Some were babies. I'm telling you, the nonsense. American is not gonna let this go. It will take time, but they're not gonna let it go. 8 minutes and 12 seconds. Let's listen.
We begin today with a media scandal engulfing the British Broadcasting Corporation, the BBC. The Director General has resigned amidst mounting questions over the BBC's handling of 2 child sex abuse reports. The BBC scandal also has implications on the other side of the Atlantic here in the United States. Former BBC Director General Mark Thompson is the incoming New York Times Company chief executive. He was at the helm of the BBC last year when the investigation into Jimmy Savile's alleged child sex abuse was dropped. Thompson claims he was unaware of the program's investigation and had no involvement in the decision to cancel the report.
The newspaper that led the way in covering up the Pizzagate scandal was run by the man who helped protect notorious UK paedophile Jimmy Savile. Mark Thompson, who was the New York Times CEO at the time, was previously Director General of the BBC. At the time, the UK's most prolific paedophile Jimmy Savile raped hundreds of children and murdered countless others while working for the BBC. He's now chairman and CEO of CNN Worldwide. When the idea was first floated that there was a massive paedophile ring at the highest levels of power, it was almost unanimously rejected by the mainstream media and the people alike. Nobody wanted to believe that such a deviant and degenerate collective could exist in the modern world, let alone in the United States. Yet as more evidence was released through WikiLeaks and the tireless research by the alternative community, the true sinister depths of the crimes of the elite began to materialize.
Newsnight is also under scrutiny for failing to broadcast a report on child sex abuse allegations against the popular BBC personality Jimmy Savile, who's accused of abusing potentially hundreds of victims. On Monday, head of news Helen Bowden and her deputy, Stephen Mitchell, also stepped aside in wake of the scandal. Instead, a series of tributes to Jimmy Savile were aired across the BBC's radio and TV network last year after his death.
Here we go for a warm-up right now, then.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Top of the Pops.
He was a pop pioneer and a multi-million-pound charity fundraiser. He made us belt up in the 70s and fixed it for thousands of kids' dreams to come true. For 60 years, Jimmy Savile has been part of our lives, a great British eccentric.
Well, last month, nearly a year after Jimmy Savile's death, ITV released a documentary called Exposure, The Other Side of Jimmy Savile.
And I opened the door and I walked in and Savile was sat in the chair with the right side of his body facing me. And there was a girl of about 14 with long brown hair, sat on his knee. He had his left arm up her skirt, and he was kissing her, but what I distinctly remember, and that's the image that sticks in my mind, was the fact as I opened the door, he turned his head and it was just his tongue that was just sort of coming out of her mouth that stuck in my mind. It was that image. So it wasn't just like a peck on the cheek that she jumped on his knee and sort of done it spontaneously. It was a definite sexual advance to this girl.
Lay out the Jimmy Savile story and the overall, we're talking about two sex scandals that are bringing down the leadership of the BBC.
I mean, I've really focused on the Savile aspect of the scandal thus far. And what I can say is I think that this has been an enormous scandal. You're talking about hundreds of people coming forward, most of them women, who are saying they were abused by him in schools, in hospitals, in psychiatric facilities across the country. And this is all coming to light now. So it's a pretty exceptional case.
So tell us the story of the one woman that you profiled in the New York Times who had been trying to come forward for decades.
Yeah, you know, I mean, it's a really tragic story. Deborah said she's been was abused by Jimmy Savile at a reform school back in the 70s. And for years, she said whenever she heard him mentioned in connection with sexual abuse, she tried calling up newspapers. She tried getting her story out there, and nobody wanted to speak with her. Nobody was interested. So I think this is somebody who this has been extremely challenging for her to finally get her story out.
Well, explain, though, what the situation was, why Jimmy Savile had anything to do with the school that Deborah Cogger attended.
Well, this is what's really interesting. He had these long-standing relationships with different institutions across the country, including this school called the Duncroft School for Girls, which was a school for kind of troubled teenage girls who were also extremely intelligent. And he would come by with cigars and kind of crummy records that he got at the studio. And it sounds like, I mean, what the victims are saying now, and there are several of them who were at this school, they're saying that he basically had free reign of the place.
And yet she came forward and she said then what was happening, but people told her to be quiet.
She said she was told to be quiet. She said that, you know, that other girls who were abused even sort of more horrifically were shut in a room in isolation until they recanted. So there, you know, this was a pretty awful scandal. In
Savile's 1976 autobiography, Love is an Uphill Thing, he described how he and another man had spent the night naked in a caravan with a group of girls. The girls were young enough for their mothers to come looking for them. Savile wrote, quote, "I train my men well, and to date we have not been found out," which after all is the 11th commandment, is it not? Unquote. I wanted to bring Tim Gopsell into the conversation, editor of the Free Press magazine in London. Your piece, "The Savile Scandal Defines the BBC." The BBC not only killed the investigation of Savile, but it ended up just doing all these laudatory programs about him. Tim, why is it defining the BBC?
Because the one half of it didn't know what the other half was doing. It's a big organisation And as a broadcaster, it doesn't just cover news and current affairs. It covers the whole range of broadcasting. It does comedy, entertainment, drama, game shows, quiz shows, reality. It does a lot, which means it's a very, very big organization. And the journalistic side is kept deliberately separate so that it isn't controlled by management, so that it doesn't have to toe any line laid down by anybody. It is kept at a kind of arm's length to guarantee its independence. The consequence was that while the Newsnight program was preparing its expose of Savile, another half of the BBC was going ahead with these tributes. The cancellation of the Newsnight programme, people are prepared to believe, had nothing to do with the fact that the tributes were coming as well. It just looked very bad for them. But the real problem wasn't killing the Newsnight programme. The thing the BBC really did wrong was to run all those tributes to a man who was pretty widely known, at least in kind of media circles, to have been a terrible paedophile for years and years.
Okay, so it's done. Whew, my goodness. I can't even process this level of evil. SCIF, but good job continuing to expose it. Soon America will fully wake up and be angry and vengeful. That was posted February 5th. This is really so much bigger than people understand. Yeah, they all know too much, which many are involved. Doctors, lawyers, scientists, artists, writers, actors, military, police, judges, royalty, athletes, teachers, politicians, etc. That's pretty much a good list here. Yes, it's much bigger. All right, let's leave that alone. Let's go to the next one. This one was 8 minutes. Okay, I'm already 11 minutes here. Next one. Okay, let's see here. Is that from there? Okay, it started from here. Okay, Lord Mountbatten was pedophile and uncle of Charles and Andrew. He was raping small boys in Irish orphanages. Right. Did you know the U.S. destroyed FBI dossier on Lord Mountbatten at the request of the British government after the discovery of a wartime file showed that Mountbatten was a prolific satanic pedophile. Oh, shoot, it's long. Satanic pedophile. I will suggest everyone research the Kenkoba. Sometime I posted on my community, not my community, but on my videos. Just put the screenshot of what I'm aware of it. Alright, let's see here. I will suggest everyone research the Kenkoba Boys Home in Belfast, where he raped many boys from the home in the 1970s. The home was ran by British intelligence agencies. Yep, the same intelligence agencies that ran Elm Guest House and Dolphin Square. Lord Mountbatten was a well-known, notorious royal family pedophile known as Uncle Dickie to the WEF King Charles. Jimmy Savile was introduced into the royal family by Lord Mountbatten. The royals absolutely knew what was happening and enabled it. Lord Mountbatten was assassinated in 1979 by the IRA. These people are truly evil and sick. Evil incarnated. Alright, with this, just pause and read. There's that. Typical, we know about that. Just look on the screen. There's some stuff I am aware of what they mentioned here. All right, so there's that. Oh, it started from here. Let's go back. It started from here. Breaking. A leaked email revealed King Charles' aide oversaw royal protection at Epstein home. The VAT goes all the way to the top. There's all of this. Wow. Not surprised at all. This is vile. Was he there? Okay, when you start making excuses for these people, I mean, come on. All right, so there's that. Let me leave that alone. Next to it, there's so much going on. So much. And I think majority of it started in the UK and spread out and teach it to other people, to others, and it spread. And then Russia learned a thing or two from it, and then they just document it. That's the thing. All right, next to it. Some of these white women were lining up to bring their daughters, friends, sisters, you name it, to Epstein to be, oh my God, these people are sick. Oh, okay, I didn't say the word here. There it is. Also, these women could be that much closer to white supremacy power. white women cannot be trusted is a huge understatement. All right, this is why a lot of African American usually say you can't trust them when they go to the voting booth. You think they will understand, but they help create that, facilitate men bad behavior. It's 1 minute and 27 seconds. There's no comment, so let's listen.
Hashtag not all white women, am I right? But it is always a white woman, isn't it? Isn't it? Pam Bondi is a perfect example as to why white women as a bloc cannot be trusted. Did you see her bending over backwards to literally protect men who have harmed women, children, other men who have killed people, allegedly? Did you not see that? That's why white women are not a trustworthy group, because the Pam Bondis, they walk among us. And she and I look fairly fucking similar from the jump. If you don't know me, I could be a Pam Bondi. Maybe I'm the Pam Bondi of my neighborhood, of my church, of my community. It's not all white women. It's never been all white women. There's always been white women standing with marginalized groups, standing in their womanhood rather than their whiteness. There's always been white women like that. However, there's a fucking massive group of white women who will consistently stand in their whiteness, center the men in their lives, do exactly what the good white woman in them tells them to do, which is bend over backwards until they get fucked over by these men, because that will happen, because being a good white woman is impossible. It's a mythical creature that doesn't exist, and it will ruin your life. I've written about it on my Substack. It comes out in like an hour. You should check it out.
We have to thank African American, because I think because many African American did not go protest, it changed the trajectory of their plan. They were in a phase where they will do, oh my God, what's the term again? Martial law. Okay, if African American went and protest at the beginning, we will not get to this point at all. We would not have got to this point where we're seeing all those Epstein files, revealing. It's because African American did not go did not go protest, and it allowed the floodgate of evilness to just spill. Because if African American went protest, Trump would have been doing the martial law, which is the ultimate plan, by the way. Ultimate plan to do the martial law, to keep people in the home so they don't go vote, so they could continue their barbaric thing. Okay? So kudos to African American who remain connected and on standby and paying attention. All right, let's go to the next tweet. This comment was closed. 3388. Where was I? Okay, I almost skipped again. This is another video, I think. Okay, not a video. She knew. Okay, this is from the Epstein file. Let's see here. Where this? Okay, Peter Mandelson. That was 10 March 2011. The information content. Okay, suggestion. Okay, on Sky, it was reported that Andrew and Her Majesty the Queen met to discuss Jeffrey Epstein. Try and talk later. I assume is Andrew. Andrew has to sit tight. Suggestion. The information contained in this communication is confidential, may be attorney-client privilege, may constitute inside information, and is intended only for the user addressee. It is property of the Jeffrey Epstein. Okay, so they're saying they're due diligent not to share that, but there it is here. So this is the part here that they're making reference, and this is the response to it. Okay, on Sky, it was reported that Andrew and Her Majesty the Queen met to discuss Jeffrey Epstein. Try and talk later. Andrew has to sit tight. All right, so stay quiet. Just let the wind, the storm pass, and it will calm down. It's not gonna let go. Of course she did. She knew back in 2011. She knew all along. Shameful. Let's pause this. Never complain, never explain was her way to escape accountability and hide her greed, lies, and corruption. That lady didn't give a damn about Meghan. Harry was a casualty of war for them to speak out against the institution. They needed a scapegoat to protect Andrew and the heir. This is least surprising. Of course she knew. The media will be setting up camp right now. One day She absolutely did. All right, so there's more comment. Let's move on. You could pause and read. Next tweet. Oh my God, at the expense of other people's kids. All right, so there's Marjorie Taylor. This is the thing here. I think to a certain extent, I don't truly trust her, but to a certain extent, she was part of the problem. When we were trying, when I say we, I mean the people who were trying to do the right thing, but she was enabled voting to support Trump's type of thing. Okay? So this is the thing, when you see things, do the right thing. But they were thinking about their pocket only. She helped Trump, the MAGAs, to be where they are right now. I think what got her back to her senses is after what she saw from the Epstein files. It was too much. Too many children were being abused. So maybe that's what made her get to her senses. Who knows? Or maybe to a certain extent, if we do get back on track as a country, maybe she might go back again to be, I don't think to the MAGA extent, maybe to the way that the GOP used to be to prevent the country from moving forward. Okay? All right, breaking. Marjorie Taylor Greene just admitted the Epstein files were blacked by Donald Trump himself. Quote, he fought the hardest to stop these files from being released. Not Democrats, not the DOJ, not the deep state. Trump. All right? Look what happened with the immigration laws that when Biden was in office. They had a plan. Okay, they had a law to implement at the borders. All right, but Trump said no, and then all the Democrats voted, not Democrat, all the Republicans decided to go along with Trump. Let me see how she voted for it. Let me pause and go search for that. Okay, so this is here. I asked Google, did Marjorie Taylor Greene voted to stop the immigration bill? Marjorie Taylor Greene has consistently opposed bipartisan immigration legislation, often labeling such effort as dead on arrival, and threatened to out Speaker Mike Johnson if he advanced certain particular Ukraine-linked security packages. While she supports strict border enforcement, including H.R. 2, she has taken hardline stances against border bipartisan deal. All right, so you could pause and read. This is what I'm saying. These people are part of the problem. But when you're not the driver of things, you just have to look at things for what it is and see if it makes sense. But they listen to Trump. The other question that I asked Google, almost the same thing. All right, did Trump persuade Marjorie Taylor Greene to vote against? Let's vote against. Against the immigration bill. Okay, based on the provided search result, there is no direct evidence that Donald Trump specifically persuaded Marjorie Taylor Greene to vote against the immigration in 2024. However, the results showed that Trump opposed the 2024 bipartisan deal. Former President Trump publicly opposed the bipartisan border security deal in early 2024, encouraging there it is here, encouraging. That's part of persuading, right? English is not my primary language, but persuade is almost as encouraging Republicans to vote against it. All right, so there's that. Let's go back to X. All right. Did I read that? Okay, breaking. Marjorie Taylor Greene just admitted the Epstein files were blacked by Donald Trump himself. He fought the hardest to stop these files from being released. Not Democrats, not the DOJ, not the deep state. All right, Trump. All right, 14 seconds.
That fight to release the Epstein files came directly from President Trump. And I know a lot of people have a hard time with that, but that is the truth. He fought the hardest to stop these files from being released.
There's that. All right, and after they were released, Trump is counting on the DOJ and the FBI not to investigate him. Seems to be going well too for him. There's that. I mean, once people know things about children, this is where game's over. Okay, game's over. People are not gonna put up with that. I've been saying from the beginning, once you this was the biggest mistake of these people. Children, you deal with children, you're done with. American will not put up with that. Next tweet. Oh my God, I don't want to do another video. For many MAGA, the line in the sand has been crossed by the pedophile president and his protector, Pam Bondi. Let's listen. 1 minute and 3 seconds. All right. So there's a lot of comments, responses. You could stop, pause, and read. I'm not gonna read all of them. Let's listen to this.
It was a line in the sand. I said it was going to be a line in the sand for a lot of MAGA, and it has been. To hear Adam Calhoun come out now and say that you got played. You did, Adam. You got played. And I appreciate that. I'm not here to laugh at you. I'm here to tell you that I appreciate it. Children being abused, and that's how you have to say it here on TikTok. And we know what that means. The code word is abused, but it starts as the hard R. And that's what happened to these children. Vile, disgusting things. We're seeing torture and unaliving of kids, little kids and babies. Just throwing them away like they were garbage.
Yeah.
And we know Harold Lutnick was there. There's rumors that other people, including Trump, were on the island. There's other people that have come out with firsthand accounts. A limo driver that Pam Bondi refused to question had said he wanted to hurt Trump after listening to a conversation between him and Epstein. So
I told you, based on what I see going on since I've been living in the U.S., I told you the line will stop the moment they see the American people see what they're doing to children. 2 things: dogs and children. That's it. All right. Do you wonder why Trump is covering up the Epstein files? Recall 9 years ago, a Trump accuser was set to give a press conference to tell the world about how Donald Trump sexually assaulted her multiple times when she was just 13 years old. She ended up not holding the press conference after reportedly receiving horrific threats. Trump threatened to sue her after the election, but never did. Why not? Maybe because it was true. Maybe there's more about that he's covering up in the Epstein files. Okay, 1 minute and 1 second. All right, so there's all of that. I'm not gonna read all of these. Okay, page not found. There's all of that. You could pause and read. Okay, what is that? I shared this in one of my videos already. All right, there's that. Okay, maybe I'll listen to this. Okay, what is that? Web temp. Okay, so there's more videos. Maybe I'll come and listen to these videos. Okay, so there's this. You could pause and read. All right, so let's go with the first one. Couple videos I need to share with you under that tweet.
Yeah, Lena and Juan, definitely some confusion here since that woman who was accusing Trump of raping her when she was a child decided not to appear. Instead, her attorney came out and said that the woman was too afraid to speak. Now, this was a planned news conference, but it didn't happen. The woman had filed a lawsuit alleging Trump sexually assaulted her at several different parties in 1994 when she was only 13 years old. Attorney Lisa Bloom said the woman, who has gone by the pseudonym Jane Doe, had received numerous terrible threats and gave a short statement.
Jane Doe has received numerous threats today, as have all the Trump accusers that I have represented. She is living in fear. She has decided that she is too afraid to show her face. She's been here all day, ready to do it, but unfortunately, she's in terrible fear.
But Trump's attorneys have vigorously denied those allegations, and they're threatening legal action after the election. Juan and Lena?
Okay, so they're saying Trump never follow up. All right, so let's listen to this.
Any age, really.
Did they ever say they might kill you?
They threatened to kill my little girl, who, when I left, was still at the house.
A friend?
Huh?
What little girl?
My little girl, Alex. She's about 4 now.
Wow.
You mean you had a child?
Yeah.
How old were you when you had that child?
11.
Oh my God. Oh my God, my God.
any age, really.
Alright, so
Did they ever say they might kill you?
this at 11 years old she had a baby and they kept the baby and oh my god, my god, my god, my god. God help us. This is pure evil. Oh, let's move on. Too many videos to share with you. Okay, when are the arrests going to happen? GOP, senators. Okay, they tag a whole bunch of other people. Alright, so let's listen to this. This is 1 minute and 32 seconds.
Did y'all hear what Melanie Stansbury found in the Epstein files? Watch this.
I'm gonna be honest with you guys, I actually went through the files this weekend in depth. Donald Trump is not only named over and over in them, it is discussed this trial in which he was accused of raping a 13-year-old at Epstein's house. There is extensive discussions about a subpoena of Donald Trump in one of Jeffrey Epstein's cases in which he was accused for rape and sexual abuse. He was subpoenaed and gave a deposition in that case. There is extensive discussion between Donald Trump, Ghislaine Maxwell, and Mr. Wolf about not only Trump coming to his house, but Epstein says in these emails that he has photographs of Trump with girls.
Yeah, you're done, Dookie. Done. There ain't no wiggling your way out of this one. So I hope that you made your plans to flee to Argentina, because that's the only way you ain't gonna face consequences for all this bullshit. This is just the beginning of the end for you and everybody in your administration. Melanie said Dookie Booty is all up and through these Epstein files. Once everybody sees you for the PDF that you are, you'll lose all fucking credibility and everybody will start to turn on you. Watch. These bitches about to start flipping like a pillow on a hot summer night. Everybody except for Clay Higgins, of course. But it's too late for them, because they going down with you for all the bullshit they done did for these past fucking 11 months.
Alright, she said something very important here. Argentina. The moment Trump got in office, threw the American money in Argentina, and then this will be where they're gonna go to escape. Similar to what had happened, well after the Holocaust type of thing. Many of those former soldiers, high officials, they went to Argentina. So they already pay in advance just in case if things don't go accordingly. So that's where they're gonna go. I don't know how, I don't know. So that's the key thing to get out of this video. What else are they saying? Okay, this one is slightly longer. Okay, there's more videos. I'll play all of them for you instead of me reading those stuff. All right, let's listen to this screenshot. This one is long.
Trump, Luke going to Trump party, controversy, that all of a sudden hit the wire today. Before I get into the rest of the show. This Uncle Luke going to Donald Trump and seeing drugs and seeing people underage and all that and everything. Number one, let me just say this. I voted for Kamala Harris. I supported Kamala Harris. Bullets. I'm a Democrat. That's number two. Number three, I don't lie on people at all. I don't lie, period. When I went to Donald Trump, when Donald Trump invited me, Mike Tyson, along with Eddie Murphy, we rode up there. Trump invited us. Donald Trump was a Democrat at the time. I didn't even, to be honest with you, I didn't even know what his party affiliation was. I just knew that Donald Trump had nice, cool parties. And to be invited to a billionaire house in West Palm Beach, Mar-a-Lago, which was a cool thing. He hung out with all the other rapper executives and all the other black executives, did fights. He had a USFL football team and all that cool thing.
Okay, I have said in the past, in the early 90s, I used to say of all high-profile people, let's say actors and, high-profile people, rich, you never hear a damn thing about Donald Trump's kids. And then later on, I found out why. Because, how do they call this? Where they buy the article and then they, something and kill, catch and kill. I have said it that in the past. So he's been doing his things, and then when people know about it, he take care of business and buy the information, and for them to not publish it. And he used to hang out, similar to, Charles. you could see some old videos of King Charles. That's the one I'm talking about. Doing breakdancing, hanging out with black people and all of that. That was a pretense. Okay, to show they're down with the people, but deep inside they're doing their nasty thing. But let's continue listening to him. So pretty much he's saying Trump had invited him and Mike Tyson, hey, guys want to hang out and watch a game, so they went. So let's finish listening to him.
So the man was also mentioned in maybe 1,500 rap records, where every rapper from New York glorified him. You see what I'm saying? I mean, this was Trump. You hang out with Trump, was a cool dude. Trump always had beautiful people hanging around him. Did I see anybody taking drugs? No. I did not see anybody taking drugs. Did I see underage girls running around? No. I did not see underage girls running around. That man didn't get nothing but be a host, just like any other host. Okay? I don't like what the fuck he got going on in America right now today, but am I going to sit up here and lie about what the fuck was going on over there?
Meanwhile, okay.
2 Live Crew rap star from the early 1990s, Uncle Luke. He talks about going to a Mar-a-Lago party. He left right away. He thought he was going to get extorted because the girls all looked underage, or a lot of them looked so young, he said, that he had to get the hell out of there, because, just using his words, because he didn't want anything to do with what he was seeing there. He said that there was sex and underage girls, and this is what he observed, and he wanted to get the hell out of there.
All right, what is it? Midas Touch? They have a YouTube channel and they are lawyers. So he must have seen the video or where, I don't know. Let's see, there's 4 comments under this. I'm a little bit curious about this. Well, he just want to protect himself probably. Okay, thank God for recordings. He can try and take it back now, but what he said will always remain. Important news, an audio recording from 2016 radio interview with Luther Uncle Luke Campbell of 2 Live Crew on Sirius XM makes it plain show, has Uncle Luke describing how he attended a party at real Donald Trump, let's see here, oh my God, at real Donald Trump Mar-a-Lago in the early 1990s. He expressed discomfort with what he observed, including apparent drug use, open sexual activity, and women who look too young or ain't of age, leading him to leave after about 45 minutes without participating. He stated, "It was so much going on to the point that I couldn't take what was going in that room and I left." Okay, so there's a 14-second
a lot of these women ain't of age. So when you got a whole bunch of these women running around, whether they of age or not, there's a lot of things going on. Some women look too young. Yeah, there's a lot of sex going on. And a lot of these women ain't of age.
Oh my God, what is that now? Oh my God, let's listen. There's a whole bunch. Is that him again? 3 minutes. This one is even longer. What is it?
It's amazing how. Let me get into this. Trump, Luke going to Trump party, controversy.
You know what? I'll just leave it alone. I don't know. I don't know the truth anymore. You see, contradicting his words. So I'm not gonna. Let's move on. This is my last one. All right. Pam Bondi confirmed that under the fascist authoritarian regime of the pedophile Führer, America no longer has a functional constitutional republic. I mean, they've been wanting to destroy it. So, do you comply while they're destroying it, or do you fight and die trying? I don't know.
Message from Pam. People have been saying that she was performing for an audience of one, namely Donald Trump, but I disagree. I think she went in front of the House to deliver a message to everyone on behalf of her Don, her mafia boss. She obviously wasn't there to answer questions or be cooperative. In fact, she was there specifically to be uncooperative in order to broadcast to the lawmakers and to the world that the American system of government, checks and balances, co-equal branches, representative democracy, all that is no longer a thing. That basically we no longer have a functioning democracy. Her aim was to attack and undermine the entire process, to act Like it was beneath her to be questioned. Like she was so offended to be asked to, do her job. She was there to tell us indirectly, but very clearly, that she has no intention of doing her job, which is administering justice. Furthermore, she wants people to know that anyone expecting her to do her job is a dumbass. Her job during that hearing was to make it very clear that she does not work for the American people. She works for Donald Trump primarily, and secondarily for billionaires. She was there, in short, to announce that the United States is a fascist plutocracy. Her ridiculous comment about the Dow being over 50,000 was another way of saying that only billionaires matter. And remember when she said that if they prosecute everyone in the files, that the whole system will collapse? She is announcing that she is afraid of the collapse of her own party, which is designed to protect Trump, and the system more generally, which is designed to protect billionaires.
Couple things, I paused it. Donald Trump has nothing to lose but his life if he leaves power. And he did tell us during the campaign, he just need your vote just one time. He told us just one time he wants your vote. Okay? So I agree with this guy. Let's continue.
And the way to understand all of this is that the system is not legitimate. Any system based on lies and corruption and a complete and utter lack of morality at its center is not a legitimate system, and it needs to collapse or be dismantled. We, the people, must stand together and say, we do not comply. We do not consent to be subjected to an illegitimate system run by monsters. This has to be our message to Pam Bondi and to the pee-protecting billionaire class.
He's right. All right, so that is it. So much to go about, too much to share. All right, so that is it. Please take a moment to subscribe, like, and share. If you want to support this channel, there's a PayPal link and a Cash App link in the description. You could donate. Those who have donated, thank you. All right, I might do another recording. The next video we're gonna go by is this. So many things about the Epstein thing. People should take it very seriously because it's a lot. All right, I think I mentioned this video in one of my recordings a couple days ago, so we're gonna focus on that. Not too deep, but just go over it really quickly. All right, so that's it. Thank you for watching.
It is a great privilege to be with all of you today.
You know, we ask for forgiveness and please come back.
As you saw me find the love and happiness that I'd hoped for all my life.
are all in this together. And if I may speak personally,